it's Nat here from the Parentmedic movement, and today we're going to share some information with you about your baby's first rash. Babies are bound to get rashes, and if I was going to ask you as an adult, what would you think if you got a rash? Adults tend to freak out if they get a rash. It's an abnormal thing, it doesn't happen very often. So when babies get their first rash, parents often freak out because it's not something we see all the time as adults. But the one thing that I want to tell you straight off the bat is rashes are so common in babies. They get rashes for absolutely everything, and sometimes when you go to the doctor and ask them what the rash is, you'll probably be told it's a viral rash. They get nappy rashes, they get cradle cap, they get rashes around their mouth, they get rashes in between their little creases. So there are so many different types of rashes, and when parents come to do a baby and child first aid session with us, they'll often admit that they've spent hours on Google trying to determine what type of rash does their baby have because they're so worried and they're wondering if it's an emergency. The first piece of advice, which I'm hoping will give you heaps of peace of mind, is that it's really hard to diagnose a rash, so don't even go there. Rashes are rashes and they're really common. You do not need to learn what all the different types of rashes are. You just need to know what the red flags are of a rash. So no matter what the rash is, you can understand when to seek help and what is alerting to you that something might be a bit serious. When we're talking about your baby's first rash, you want to understand what the red flags are. And some of the red flags are: 1, if your baby has a rash and it's associated with a fever. 2, there's something that we call a blanching test. And if your baby has a non-blanching rash, that is considered an emergency. What do I mean by a blanching test? I want you to think when you have a mosquito bite, for example, when you press on that mosquito bite, it's most likely going to turn white. It'll go from pink to white to pink again. However, what we mean by non-blanching, if you are going to press your child's rash and it doesn't turn white and it stays pink the whole time, that is a non-blanching rash. And if that was to ever occur, you need to call emergency services straight away. The reason being for that is one of the red flags for something that's called meningococcal. The third thing that you want to look out for is if your child has any sensitivity to light, or they have a stiff neck, or they're not responding as they normally would. So these are the things that you want to look out for when your child gets their first rash. So when your baby gets their first rash, remember these red flags. And if you want to learn more about it, you can do a baby and child first aid session with your local Parentmedic licensed educator. And please remember, if you are concerned or if you have any worries, you can always check up with your local health professional. If you want to find out more information, please go to www.parentmedic.co.